You see the lights.
Don't know what that was.
What lights happen?
The lights like flicker or
Is there a
lights will flicker.
Is there a ghost?
All right, you guys ready?
I can't tell.
Yeah.
Here we go.
Let's go.
Oh wait, they always.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. You're tuning into your station, your voice, the Galaxy. You're tuning into the CineManiacs here, and it is our final show of the semester. So we have quite a talk about here on our final show. But as usual, let's see who we got on the show tonight.
I'm Brendan. I'm Levi.
And I'm Steven.
I'm Irvin. Wait, did you hear that? I did. It's Levi and Steven are back.
Mike's finally work again.
Yeah.
Dear God, we haven't heard their voices, or you haven't heard their
Like 2
voices.
weeks, yeah.
So
that's-
we used the actual mic, not the actual mic. We like replacing mics that work pretty well.
Yeah.
Last week doing the sound, they probably actually didn't hear us because
Yeah.
it's just
Keep in mind, we say pretty well, as in like this much pretty well.
Yeah, just even a little bit is considered pretty well.
yeah.
That's right.
Yelling last week was not fun. 'Cause I
Yeah.
was hilarious.
Even in one episode, we didn't have any microphones, so that was pretty fun.
Yeah. Yeah.
But anywho, so like I said in the beginning, so tonight is our final show for 2017. Quite an interesting year it's been for movies and for just us in general. So yeah, just kind of like our final little show here, just kind of reflecting on that. But also, we'll be talking about some movies that are Oscar contenders, as well as a movie that is considered the Citizen Kane of bad movies. So,
Oh God.
looking
And
pretty.
Also, I would hope would also be an Oscar
was that, Steven?
contender. You're
Wait.
right. I forget I can use these now. Also, a movie that could potentially be an Oscar contender, or at least I really hope so.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
what he said.
Oh.
Yeah, that's what I
Yeah,
said.
we're talking about 3 movies.
Because you
that
said
are
Oscars. You said
contenders,
Oscar
and then
contender
another
and.
one.
Yeah.
So I thought he was excluding.
Oh no.
No, no,
I thought he
no, I
was
was
excluding
in
Disaster
college.
Artist from
No,
that
you
list.
heard him.
I was including. I was excluding The Room, not
Yeah,
Disaster.
Room.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, I
The
got
room's
one.
the Citizen
The
Kane.
room's divided.
Anywho,
We're
so the
both
movies that we'll be
both
reviewing tonight include Lady Bird, 3 Billboards Outside Ebbing, Missouri, Disaster Artist, and of course before that we'll take a look at that, The Room.
Yeah.
So pretty excited for that. Other than that, any announcements you guys want to make before we start our final show here?
No, I mean we already went over everything that we're not having a show next week. Right?
Yeah.
That's right. Next week is finals week, so there will be no show.
I'm gonna just knock out this final announcement right now.
Oh, go ahead.
So I have my own show, and I'll also be having my final show this week, not next week, because I won't even be here next week.
I was gonna say you're gonna be gone, aren't you?
Yeah, I'm leaving at like 5 next Friday, so I won't be here for my show.
Yeah.
But I'll be having my final show on Friday from like 9:30 to 11:30. So yeah,
There you
listen
go.
to that. Have fun with
Listen to Steve's Soothingly with Smoothie Steve's final show here on the Galaxy.
it. Don't say it like that. It sounds like I'm not coming back.
I said
Final show
well,
is 27.
final show of 2017. Sorry, I should
Okay,
have
I'm like, it sounds like I'm
And
not
the
coming
semester.
back.
Oh, the semester.
Yeah, you're not coming back, Steven. Didn't you get the memo?
Well,
We
I didn't-
kicked out of Webster.
Jeez, kind of rough.
And Morgan Freeman said Batman Begins. Didn't you get the memo?
No, I didn't.
But anywho, so as usual, we are on the Galaxy Radio. You can listen to that either by going on the website or by downloading the awesome app on the App Store or the Google Play Store. Downloading that, you can listen to us there. We also have our live stream on YouTube up, so if you want to go check us out on there as well to see what the craziness actually looks like on the air, go take a look at that. Without further ado, so let's get right into our movies. So I'll kind of lead this up to you guys. We have 3 movies here. Well, technically, 2, 3,
It's technically 4.
4, yeah, but I'll leave you guys in charge of whatever order you guys want to go into. Either you want to start with The Room, Disaster Artist, or like lead with
Do
these
just
2.
want to do it in this order, but then put The Room before the Disaster Artist?
I don't care.
That's fine with me.
Yeah,
Sounds good.
I mean, that's
I
fine.
mean, it's all up to you guys tonight. I'm just here to
Yeah, I don't care. It's
moderate as usual.
Alright.
Cool, yeah.
So
Alright.
I guess we'll just go in with Lady Bird.
All right, Lady Bird. So all these films that we're reviewing tonight, except for The Room, of course, they came out in 2017. The Room came out in 2003. That's just one difference comparison there. But yeah, so whoever wants to go ahead and kind of give the summary of Lady Bird, kind of tell us what it's about, go right ahead.
Are you the only one who's seen it?
Us too.
Yeah, both of
me
us have
too.
seen it.
All
I
right.
forgot you
Do you
saw it
want me
first.
to go ahead and do Lady Bird since you've got 3 billboards after?
I don't care. I could do because it's mainly just you and me talking.
Oh
And
yeah,
That is true.
you go ahead and do
It's
both
just-
of these,
it's
and
just
then
Disaster
I'll
you
Artist.
two, yeah, it's
Yeah,
you
because
two.
I've seen Disaster Artist on here.
You just want to go
So-
ahead and
I'm
do
the
Lady Bird
oddball
and
out.
then
Yeah.
3 billboards.
I don't care. Sure.
I'll just let you do that since.
Okay.
I'm
Irvin's
kind
the
of
only one not.
I'm the oddball out
Yeah,
of this
Irvin's
episode,
the
so
only
I'm just kind of
one.
like moderating as I usually do. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
take it away, Levi.
So Lady Bird is it's a coming of age movie about this girl who's in high school at a private Catholic school, and she just wants to get away from Sacramento, California. She lives in Sacramento, California, and she hates it. She absolutely does not like it and wants to get away, wants to go to school, college in New York, where it's cultured and she can fit in, like she can express herself more than what she can in Sacramento because her family's holding her back, and by her family, like her mother. So it's just another coming of age story. She's growing up. We see her go through her whole senior year of high school, and then go off to college, and just everything it's the early 2000s too, and it's just everything that she experiences in her life, all the ups, all the downs, all the right turns, the wrong turns, the relationships she builds, the relationships that fail, the ones that bind back together. It's just a typical coming of age story. So yeah.
All right, cool. So that was the summer of it. So I'll go ahead and just get to you guys' kind of reviews of it. So what did you guys think of Lady Bird?
Do you want to go?
You want me to go first?
Yeah.
So I didn't know a lot about Lady Bird going into it. I had heard like all the good reviews about it, but I'd never seen a trailer for it. Basically, just through our friend group was how I heard more about it, like Pedro and all them.
And Steven shooting guns at you.
You didn't say anything about Lady Bird, no.
I did mention it.
You mentioned it, but you didn't see it.
I haven't seen it, but I mentioned
So-
it.
He mentioned it.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
I
He mentioned it.
I didn't know how good it was.
I know,
until,
but I'm contributing.
He's gonna keep doing this.
And I know Elizabeth really wanted to see it. So whenever I went and saw it, I didn't really expect anything going in. I knew that it was a sort of like a comedy movie, and that you said it was a coming of age story, Levi. You told me that. But I didn't have any expectations, but I thoroughly enjoyed this movie. I really, honestly can't think of many criticisms for this movie. The only problem that I have, and it's not even that big of a problem, is that I think the ending is a bit abrupt, but I understand why it's abrupt. The story is very not like dry or anything, but it takes you where you need to go, and it doesn't take it too long. Like, you aren't really bored with it. There's always something going on, and every scene has a reason to be in there, I guess, is what I'm trying to say. There's not a single scene that is in this movie that does not have a reason. And I think that's why it's being so well received, is that it is a very clear story, and it is very relatable. Lady Bird as a character, played by, how's her name pronounced? Saoirse Ronan.
Yeah.
Saoirse Ronan. She does an outstanding job. I've seen a couple of her other movies, and I think she's a good actress, but I didn't realize how great of an actress she was until this movie, because of how entertaining it was. A lot of the humor is very, I guess, not dark, but more like dry, like almost sarcastic.
Yeah.
And it's so weird to see how people were back in the year 2002, because that's when it takes place. She's arguing with her mom in the beginning, and she's like, nothing great has happened this year, nothing special has happened. The only great thing about 2002 is that it's the same forwards and backwards. And like, she's wanting to go to New York, and her mom's all like, I'm not going to let you go to New York. There's terrorism over there, like, because of 9/11 and all that. So there is a lot of conflict between her and her mom, and I think that it was done really well, because we all have those moments where we argue with our parents, and it's very touching at moments. There are scenes where I just didn't have a reaction. I didn't know what to say. And I don't know. There's not much else I can say except that Lady Bird is. It is a contender for Oscars, and I think that the critics are going to absolutely love this movie, and rightfully so, because this movie's great, and I wish that it was advertised more. Like, Lady Bird and The Disaster Artist, I don't know about Three Billboards, are both done by A24. And The Disaster Artist is just... It's being advertised so much. And I'll get to my review of Disaster Artist later, because I enjoyed that one as well. But I feel like Lady Bird isn't getting as much exposure as Disaster Artist because of what Disaster Artist is about. But I really wish it did, because this movie is really good.
You also got to remember too, Lady Bird's an indie film, so that
I mean, that's true. But
yeah,
still.
that's the reason why.
I feel like indie films don't get.
Save me indie film too.
Yeah, but
It's
if
been
you
more,
think about
it's
it,
just been more heavily promoted
Well-
because
yeah.
I mean,
I was gonna say, if you think about it as well, Disaster Artist has a much like all-star cast too, and they're like people
Yeah.
that made more like famous, more like controversial and famous films, like in a good way, of course.
Yeah.
I mean,
So,
when
like-
a film like has a nationwide release, like it starts out with like a limited release, like Disaster Artist did, but then it had a nationwide release. That's not really like an indie film, because plenty of films do that.
yeah.
An indie film is just like select theaters. It takes its turn sending the copies into each theater.
Yeah.
I mean, I get that, but I guess I just wish that indie films did get more exposure.
They get, if you go and see enough indie films, you go to like an indie theater, you'll see it advertised. That's why you won't find it in like nationwide.
I know, but
Shades.
I'm saying I wish it was.
Okay, yeah.
Like, I wish, because there are a lot of good indie films that I haven't seen because I didn't know about them.
Mm-hmm.
And so, I don't know, I wish they were advertised more. Like, obviously we get like the heavy hitters like Disney and Lucasfilm and Marvel and all them, but like A24 is really like it's really
It's also the holidays here at the Galaxy.
it's building their not their portfolio, but they're building their whatchamacallit, their gallery or whatever.
Their empire.
Yeah, they're building their empire,
But-
and they're just making good movies on top of good movies, and I'm hoping that they get to the level of Marvel and Lucasfilm and Fox and all that.
Who?
A24.
Okay.
I can, yeah.
I mean, go ahead. Say what you're gonna say.
I was gonna say that Disney is actually trying to buy 24.
Yeah, I saw that.
I saw that
It's just-
and I'm just like, I really hope they refuse.
Is Disney just buying everyone now?
Disney
Like, that's
wants to
what it
buy
sounds-
it.
A24 is not gonna agree to that.
I hope they
won't.
don't.
I really hope they won't, because the fact that like, as my friend Austin described it, he said A24 is the Messiah and Disney is Judas.
Oh
Oh,
god.
wow.
Okay.
You know, in some weird way, it's kind of accurate a little bit.
I mean, Disney's buying everything.
That's true.
They have to get to a point where they need to stop.
They'll stop when they have everything.
But
That's true.
Levi, I want to hear your thoughts on Lady Bird.
Oh yeah. Lady Bird, I really liked it. It's a great film. Like the critics are right on this one and everything. It is a great
And
film.
that's also good news too. The critics
yeah.
like it.
I really enjoyed the editing in this. It was real quick and it kept the pace of the film going with how abundant everything was, and it kept bump, and we kept moving on from one up, one down to the next. I really liked the editing. The acting by both her and her mother, Laurie Metcalf, plays her mother. Her mother just, in my opinion, she did the best in this film.
Oh, yeah.
Her performance was the best, I thought. It was really good. I liked Saoirse Ronan. She had a really good performance in here too, but I liked her performance in Brooklyn was a stronger performance.
Oh, Brooklyn was a really good movie.
So her mother did an outstanding job. Laurie Metcalf did a really good job. Greta Gerwig, I give her props hands down. She did an excellent job with this. This is a really good year for women directors. They did a really good job. We got Patty Jenkins with Wonder Woman, and we got Greta Gerwig with Lady Bird.
Mhm.
There was another movie this year that was directed by a woman, and I can't remember who it was, but I haven't seen it, but all the critics are like, it's really good, and she's done a really good job with it. But so I give her hands down, like she did an excellent job with this, and for being a coming of age story, because we've seen coming of age stories so many times all over the place, but this one, the way it was executed and the way that Greta did it was so well.
It was different.
Yeah, she did it like it was just so well thought out in the way it was executed. And I mean, it is cliche in parts because there are scenes like some of the plot lines. It's like we've seen this before. Like we know what's gonna happen. Where she's changing her friend, she's flipping sides, and then she hits rock bottom with the new friends and whatnot. The new crowd of people she hangs out to go back to her old friends, who she realizes, these are the people I like. So, I mean, it does an excellent job showing that you gotta do all the wrong things to get to the right place.
Yeah.
For you to realize like this is the right thing to do. And the one thing of this whole movie, like with the ending, even though the ending may have seemed abrupt, like again, like it had to be that way because the whole film was the same way with everything.
All the scenes ended not abruptly, but
the way it moved on to,
it was abruptly.
Yeah. So like it had to end like that to match with the rest of the film. Like we abruptly go to the next thing, so abruptly the film has to end. And I kept thinking about the ending ever since I saw the movie, and I still am trying to like think about it. But what I really what the film really did show was that even though her mother and her did not get along well at all, they disagreed all the time and like never agreed on a single thing throughout the whole film. Like her mother was the driving force for her of the whole thing. She was the driving force, and that's revealed like at the end of the movie. She expresses it, and she realizes when she goes to school that it was her mother this whole time is what kept her going. Even though she hated her and like she did not agree with her and she wanted to do things on her own, she did exactly the opposite of what her mother said and did. Like it was her mother is what helped her make her the person that she is.
Yeah.
And so the ending of the movie, I really liked that because here she is, she hates Sacramento and she wants to get away from it, and her mother, like we see scenes of her mother driving around in Sacramento and staring and looking. It's just scenery, images, and shots of Sacramento. And at the end, like we have a bunch of match cuts between her and her mother. There were a bunch of match cuts, like in general, with them walking in the houses and whatnot. But at the end, like when she realizes with her mother, it's like she hated Sacramento, but maybe she didn't hate Sacramento because she paid attention to it. So yeah, it was a very, very, very good movie. It was a great film, and it definitely deserves the praise it's getting.
I really hope you didn't spoil it just that last minute. That was getting concerned.
No. I know. I was watching.
I was gonna say,
Well,
watch where you're going.
Well, for me, I know it's for like the viewers, but also just me first because these are films I want to see too.
I know. I was watching myself. It's good.
But all right. If there's nothing else for you two to say, do you want to get into your ratings?
Sure.
All right. Who wants to start?
You want to go since you reviewed first?
No, you go, because I'm trying to think.
Oh, okay. I give Lady Bird an 8.2, 8.1.
All right. All right. Well, it's okay. If you don't have one now, it's fine.
No. I've been thinking about this.
Hard decisions we make here.
I am gonna give Lady Bird an 8.7.
All right. All right. Nice. Sounds like a pretty interesting film to see. Definitely. I like the terminology you used. You said it's different.
I'm sorry, you people back home.
You said it's different.
It's different for a coming of age story.
Yeah.
I think.
I think
I think.
Cool.
I don't know if you think, Levi.
I mean, plot line, it's
it's cliche, but
and
the way it's
executed,
is
yeah, for sure.
it makes it almost feel entirely different with the way it's executed.
Gotcha. All right, so we'll go ahead and transition to our second film that we have here to review of the night. Three Billboards Outside Ebbing, Missouri. This is a film that I've heard a lot about this semester, especially from you, Stephen, definitely, and the rest of you guys over there for sure. But Levi, you saw this film not too long ago. Go and tell us a little bit what it's about. I saw the trailer for it, and it is rated R, but it's very, very. I think it's very interesting. So go ahead and tell us a little bit about it.
Yeah, so Three Billboards Outside Ebbing, Missouri. Basically, what the plot line is Frances McDormand's daughter was raped and murdered a couple of months ago. It was like 6 months ago from where the movie takes place. And nobody's like done anything about it. Nobody like in Ebbing, Missouri, the police, like nobody's done anything about it. Like they've done the best they could do, but for her it's not enough. So what she does is there's 3 billboards outside Ebbing, Missouri, right by her. Yeah.
That's it. There you go.
Right by, like down the road from her house, and she posts 3 signs up on the billboard. She pays to have 3 signs put up on them, and she pays them monthly for them to stay up until her daughter is found, and they figure out like who the killer was, and she doesn't take these down in hopes that it will motivate the police to do something about it rather than just sitting around and doing nothing. And so that's basically the plot of the film, is that she does everything she can to motivate the police to do what they can to find the killer, and if they're not doing anything about it, she begins to take things into her own hands, matters into her own hands of trying to figure it out. So, film stars Frances McDormand as the lead actress, and then it stars Woody Harrelson and Sam Rockwell in supporting roles. They're both, Woody Harrelson's the chief of police, Chief Willoughby, and he has cancer, so he's dying. And then Sam Rockwell plays one of the officers who he's hit like rock bottom, like a lot of stuff's been going wrong in his life, and he's doing the best he can with it, but everything's just going wrong where he's almost accepted it. So, yeah, Peter Dinklage stars in it.
Dinklage is in it.
Lucas Hedges, John Hawkes, like they all star in it. And it was, what's the name? Steven, do you know his name or is anybody else? Like the director, it's Martin McDonagh?
Martin McDonagh?
Is that what it is?
Want to do some research quickly here?
He's Irish. He's made
research time.
7 Psychopaths. He made the short film 6 Shooter, and yeah, it was you know, Martin. What's that? How do you pronounce that?
Martin. This should be Martin McDonagh.
Martin McDonagh.
Yeah.
He's Irish. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, it's McDonagh. I think so.
Martin McDonagh. So this is his third. I think this is his third feature film he's ever done.
Cool.
And it was a dark comedy. It almost gave me like a Joel and Ethan Coen, like a Coen brothers vibe, almost is what I was getting from this movie, because it was dark comedy, and that's what the Coen brothers are known for. And it starred 2 of the same people that the Coen brothers work with, so that's why it was kind of giving me that vibe. But this film, the one thing that this film I absolutely loved about it was the screenplay. Martin McDonagh writes great screenplays. Excuse me. He, his dialogue and the interaction with the characters and, how quick-witted and everything that comes out of their mouths. All the characters, the actors, they say what they say with a purpose, is what they, when they're in the film, everything that comes out of their mouth, they say it with a purpose. There's not a bit of dialogue where it's they didn't need to say that, or it's why did they say that? Because the way the actors carry it out is really good. And so that was the one thing that stood out to me about this film was the screenplay was just, it was great.
Especially for the main character. Sorry, I didn't want to hear that. Especially
yeah.
for her, because she does a lot of interesting talking.
Mm-hmm. But the performances were really good too. The one that, like everybody was saying, shocked them, and I was looking forward to it, was Sam Rockwell's performance. And after I saw it, I really enjoyed his. I think the one thing that's shocking everybody about was it's different for Sam Rockwell. We've never seen like Sam Rockwell do something like this before, and so it was and the way he did it was very, very good. So he gave a great performance. Woody Harrelson's performance, it was good. It's about the same as like all his other performances we see him in. It's good, but there's nothing like too special about it compared to like what Frances and Sam had. Lucas Hedges was great as her son. John Hawkes, I love John Hawkes. He's a good actor. He's a great actor. So he played this ex-husband to Frances McDormand, who they got divorced a long time, like before their daughter was killed. But the dialogue, going back to the script, I'm sorry, the dialogue's it's quick-witted. It's really quick, and like everybody like lashes back at each other.
It's very, very. In case I didn't say already, it's rated R, so definitely like if you're like offensive language is going to be in this movie.
Mm-hmm.
I saw the R when I was watching. I was like, okay, so it's gonna be like what, like nudity or something like that, or like, and I'm like, oh my god, like F-bombs out the window, like everywhere, left and right. So it's definitely one of those films.
Was it as bad as a Tarantino?
Oh no, nothing.
I don't think it will ever be, but still, it's very, very strong words spoken. I guess that's the term, but continue, Levi.
The movie was it was very good overall, and I haven't seen the other two films Martin McDonagh's done, but I definitely want to look into them after seeing this, because we had seen Six Shooter in class. We had watched that in class, and that's a really good short film. But Three Billboards, like, it's just strong performances across the board from just the cast in general, I'd say. Like, just not the three of them, but the cast in general. And the script it's there. You can definitely tell it's there. Some of the shots, the cinematography, was pretty good. I liked it. Lighting was like about average lighting, like you normally see lighting. Nothing too special there, but just the shots in general were pretty unique. So yeah, I think that's all I got to say about Three Billboards. Go see it. It's very, very good. It's a dark comedy, but it's really good. It's very entertaining.
So I have a question, actually. It's kind of it's not so much about the film. Just so is it? I know it has like an all-star cast, like a really good cast, like a good collection of cast members, and stars. I was gonna say, this seemed more like an indie film as well, because I didn't hear that much about it like on TV.
Yeah, it was an indie film.
Okay, it was. Okay.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Yeah, because it was very. I remember, because I heard like once through. I think it was Austin as well, Steven.
Probably.
And then like I started hearing more and more, and just like, okay, so I thought like even shout out to Pete Timmerman, he's my history of film teacher. He even talked about it too. I'm just like, all right, so this must be like controversial or something like that.
Yeah.
So, but now that it's actually like a thing, I'm like, okay, cool. It actually exists, so
Yeah.
that's cool. Awesome. Well, thanks for that, Levi. Is there anything else you want to say before we go to your rating?
I got a question.
Oh,
yeah.
So this was based on a true story, or no?
Oh no.
No.
I was
In
gonna
fact,
say,
I don't
because you said this is a thing, and I was like,
Well, I meant
is
like
it actually a thing?
I meant like the
This-
movie. The movie's a thing. Like it's actually like the
Oh.
movie's like it's not like oh like I'm hearing left and right like oh this is some movie.
I
No,
was
it's
gonna
actually a
say,
movie.
Yeah,
Yeah.
It's just another one of those films, because like we've seen things before where, like, examples like one of your favorite movie, Prisoners, where
Yeah.
they believe like the cops, like they're failing to take
Yeah.
it further, so they take matters into their own hands. We've seen this storyline before, but the movie does a really good job showing like the relationships that others have in the community with each other, like how they interact with each other. One individual knows like the whole police department and how they get their name out there and recognized in a community, and how a community works together, basically.
I was gonna say what was I gonna say? I always do this every single show. I'm gonna say something and then I just forget it. Oh yeah, I know what I was gonna say. So I actually yeah, just that's like one of those like just small kind of independent films. I even I was curious enough to, after I watched it, I'm just like, because obviously it's set in like Ebbing, Missouri. And I'm like, is Ebbing, Missouri real? And I looked it up. It's actually not a real place. I thought it was.
I mean, that's fair. I thought it was a real place too.
And then I looked it up and just like, oh, well, like, because it sounds real for sure. Like,
it sounds like an actual place that would exist.
And I think it's interesting.
Missouri's got some weird names for their towns.
Like, I think it's like. Because I was expecting, like, after this movie came out, that, like, Ebbing, Missouri would be, like, a tourist spot now. Like, there's, like, the legendary 3 billboards that, like, actually span across. But, like, no, it doesn't exist. Sorry. Like, if you're trying to go, like, oh, where is it? It's not real. I looked it up on Google Maps and everywhere. I did my research. It's not real, so don't go looking for it. But instead, they shot it in, like, some town, like, called, like, Silva or, like, Sylvia. Or, like, it's another town in some other state. Not Missouri either, so... ironically enough. But...
Wow.
But yeah, so not even set in Missouri like the set and stuff. So, but all right, Levi, do you want to go ahead and give your rating for 3 billboards outside of Missouri?
I guess because I got nothing. Oh, I guess just like one other thing I'd say is
sure.
like because it is award season. The last 2 films, the 2 films we just reviewed now, Lady Bird and 3 Billboards, they are contenders and they have been nominated so far for like the Critics' Choice, the Golden Globes, and the SAGs that were released today, but. For 3 Billboards, if it does anything at the Oscars, which it definitely will. But the one thing I'd say is, as of right now, this film is the film I'm predicting to win original screenplay.
That's
definitely.
Good.
And then, just real quickly, like back to Lady Bird, like. Lady Bird, I'm going to say it's going to get at least 5 nominations for picture, director, original screenplay, actress, and supporting actress. Sad part is, it ain't going to win a single thing, I don't think, except for supporting actress. I think that's the only chance it has right now. Maybe original screenplay against 3 Billboards, but I'm banking more on 3 Billboards compared to Lady Bird.
Yeah.
So... with that said, I give 3 Billboards outside Ebbing, Missouri, an 8.1.
All right.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
We're in the 8s tonight.
We are in the 8s tonight. 17 going on 18, our title of the show. So there you go. All right. So I think we've reached the part of our show. We're going to go ahead and take a little mini break. When we come back, we will take a look at The Room and The Disaster Artist, both the Tommy Wiseau stories of his great life there. So yeah, that was our first half. Lady Bird, and 3 Billboards outside Ebbing, Missouri. Definitely go check those films out. They are Oscar contenders, and of course, according to these guys right here, they are very, very good. I'm looking forward to seeing them. But without further ado, we're going to take a little break here. We'll see you back in about 5 to 10 minutes. You're listening to your station, your voice, the Galaxy Radio, the CineManiacs. We'll be right back. Give me 1 second, please.